Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge, 5:29 a.m. Central Daylight Time, March 28, 2020. We have Rich and Rare, Canadian Rich and Rare, Canadian blended whiskey, introduced in 1961. So let's examine the bottle. It's got the R&R. It's got a shield R&R with a unicorn and a unicorn, and then just a regular horse, and then it has a crown on it. Most Canadian whiskeys will have like a crown on the shield, man. Canadian Rich and Rare Canadian whiskey. Okay, we get it. Canadian with Canadian whiskey with natural flavors of some sort. 40% alcohol, bottled by Sazerac Company, Frankfort, Kentucky. That's Buffalo Trace. Huge distillery. They take you on the tour. They don't show you this part of the plant. I wish they would. They only show you like their showcase stuff. It's got this tapered bottle, broad shoulders, and then it tapers down to the lip, just like the Royal Canadian. So this is, I only have a little bit left. I'm not going to buy any more Rich and Rare, but it is a top-selling Canadian whiskey. I didn't say it was well regarded. I just say it was top selling. Now here's one that is not a top seller. It's rare. James Foxe. It's got the fox on it, not Red Fox. James Foxe. This orange band with gold trim and brown. Canadian whiskey with natural flavors. Frankfort, Kentucky, 80 proof. So there's a lot of similarities here. Both from Canada, probably the same distillery. Both have no age statement. Both have no website listing. Both are imported to the USA, but bottled in Frankfort, Kentucky at Buffalo Trace. And both are owned by Sazerac. And both, number 6, both have natural flavors added. What are they? I don't know. I know they're natural. They're not artificial flavors. More than likely, it's rum, brandy, bourbon, plum wine, sherry wine, or one of them or the combination of them gives it an unusual flavor. JF, James Foxe. And here's the Rich and Rare. 1961 introduced, Rich and Rare was introduced in 1961. By Gooderham Distilling. That company's out of business. It was bought up, and now it's owned by Sazerac. James Foxe introduced in 1975 by Seagram's. They're also out of business, and their brands have been bought up, many of them by Sazerac. $8.99 for the 1 liter bottle. $8.99 for the 1 liter bottle. True story, not making it up. Bought it at Broadway Liquor on Broadway in New Orleans. There's a street called Broadway, and runs from the Mississippi River levee to the middle of the city. You call it mid-city. Almost to Interstate 10, Broadway. And then it just kind of stops. Let's see. Right, but the Broadway Liquor is right on the corner of US Highway 90, Claiborne Avenue, and Broadway. The state of Louisiana said they want to give Claiborne Avenue to the city of New Orleans. It's owned by the state. US Highway 90 is owned by the state of Louisiana. But they say, we have this new program. I can't remember what they call it. Something about do it right with the state highways or something, whatever. And you can make it a local road, in other words, and then you can maintain it and spend the money on it. We'll just reroute 90 onto Interstate 10 through the city and then bring it off on its own highway. I know what they're up to, but the state did have too many state highways, which were, like they said, many of them were just roads through a town. But if it's a state highway, then these big trucks can go down at 18-wheelers and they tear up the road. And but the state maintains it. Anyway, you didn't get on here for that. But this was bought. Now, the Rich and Rare was bought at Walmart right there on U.S. Highway 61. That's never going to be turned over to this parish because that is the main road through this town, just like 51, the main north-south road. So that's going to always, it's not some little town street. And I don't think 90 is going to ever get turned over to New Orleans because they don't want to maintain it. And it is a major thoroughfare, really. It's not like some back road, back street. Anyway, this was at Walmart. This cost me, yeah, great. Poured it the exact same amount. They're both golden. They look identical, don't they? Nice, same alcohol eggs. You say that's the same stuff, the same whiskey in 2 different bottles with labels slapped on. I would be tempted to believe that. $7.99 at Walmart on U.S. Highway 61. Yes. All right. All right. We're going to mix them up for what that's worth. I think it's going to be nearly impossible to tell them apart. You know why? You want to know why? Because they're about the same thing. Now, what about Rich and Rare Reserve? Am I going to taste challenge that? Yes, but that's coming later because I wasn't introduced until at the earliest 2010 and at the latest 2011. And I'm thinking 2011. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because in 1961, they came out with Rich and Rare. 40 years later, could have been the 40th anniversary of Rich and Rare Reserve. I don't know if Sazerac's really paying attention to that kind of stuff, but somebody over there may have been. And a lot of people claim, and I don't know because I've never done a taste challenge, a lot of people claim that the Rich and Rare Reserve is a better value than the Crown Royal. Whoa, and it's about half the price. Half the price, but comparable flavor and aroma and value. Ooh, it would be double the value. Seems hard to believe, but people claim it. I don't claim it because I never did a taste challenge yet, but I will put that in my to-do list. Crown Royal versus Rich and Rare Reserve. And I'll be fair because I have no reason not to be fair because I try to be fair on it, right? And secondly, I don't work for these companies. Doesn't matter to me who wins. Max Walt. Hello, Ron. Hello to you, Max Walt, in the Russian Federation, all the way from Russia. We have viewers from Russia, Canada, United States, Germany, all over, England. This smells very basic, but not bad. Just like, you know, corn whiskey. It's good that I ran my mouth a little bit because I let them breathe. See, when you let them breathe, a lot of that flavoring stuff will dissipate. If you pour it and then smell it immediately, you'll say, whoa, what's all this flavoring? But if you let it dissipate, then you won't get that. It's like these clear bottle beers or green bottle beers. If you pour them and smell them, sometimes you say, oh, it's skunked. But like Stuart Pickard, Gin Riel Trail, he doesn't do that many videos anymore. I wish he did. But he'll say, let it set for a minute. Then it'll smell like regular old beer. And I said, by golly, he's right. And I always remember that. So this smells like corn, maize if you're in Europe, like almost like corn starch, like the meat of the corn. And wheat, that would be gluten, right? But that, it just, maybe there's a little rye. Yeah. What about wood? Yeah, maybe. I picked up the wood much more prominently in the 2 Sazerac rums I had last night, especially the Albertsons rum yesterday afternoon. The caliber, yeah, it was, but it was hard to detect the wood and the caliber because it was so submerged underneath the crazy quilt candy, cotton candy, and rock candy aromas, which is bizarre but pleasant. See, some things can be bizarre and pleasant. Like you might go to the Carnival at Coney Island and say, well, that was bizarre, but did you enjoy it? Yeah, it was very pleasant. See, all right. This smells the same, but it's a little more, let's say a little bolder corn and a little bolder rye. Little bolder. That could be in my mind, you see. Yep. You say like cornbread, somewhat like that, without the sweetness. Yeah, you see, this one is milder. Now, you think in your mind, oh, it's the same whiskey repackaged. And I believe that. I really believe it. But then I'm smelling it and it doesn't smell the same. It smells close. Very close. But alas, it's time for a taste challenge. So let's do it. Taste, taste, taste. Whew. It might have dissipated in the aroma, but it sure did not dissipate in the flavor. That is some plum wine tasting stuff. In your mind of what plum wine would taste like. I know a guy named Leroy. Well, they call him Mike. I guess Michael is his middle name, but Mike Leroy. He made plum wine. He lives in the next town northwest of me, up to Highway 61. And he put too much sugar in it, so it was gross. I couldn't drink it. I dumped it out. I said, oh, you went crazy with the sugar. They still have some over there at the Knights of Columbus Hall. And I said, I don't know how somebody could drink that. Well, guess what? Nobody is drinking it. See, the container's still full. But you could taste the plum. But it's like, why did he have to add sugar? To me, it would have been just as good without it. Maybe it had been too tart or something. But this tastes kind of like that, minus that disgusting sugar attack. And then that guy Chinese, who also sells, well, I won't say too much, fruit and vegetables, but I can't say he's selling alcohol because that's illegal. You got to have a license. I have tried some of his homemade stuff, but it was too sugary. It was like, it's like drinking sugar. Like, why would I want to drink that? And so this other guy said, well, just dump it out. I said, that's what I'm going to do. It's nasty. Oh, and we were so busy at the shrimp and fish dinner last night. You say, oh no, it's a lockdown. You can't have a shrimp and fish dinner at the Knights of Columbus Hall. Yes, we can. It was drive-through. It's always been drive-through. It never was a sit-down dinner. We had to cancel bingo, which is sad because of this Corovis business. But it was just one car, really one truck, because people mostly drive trucks today, right? One truck or SUV after another, just lined up. Wild. Made a lot of money too. Okay. Yeah, this tastes very similar. Maybe not quite as much of a plum wine flavor, but it's there. So really the difference here is not in the taste. It's the same. The difference here is in the intensity of the flavor. The one in my left hand feels more intense, or, the sensation, the aroma and the flavor is more intense. This one is less intense. The body's the same, medium. The finish is the same, moderate. You say, well, I want to drink a great Canadian whiskey. Yeah, well, I don't think you're going to get that with a $7.99. I'm sorry, an $8.99 liter and a $7.99 750. No, but you might get something that's, doable, tolerable, arguably good. I think they're good. you know what you're dealing with. And it's fine. To me, it's better than the American blended. This doesn't have any weird honeydew melon or nastiness. And some of those American blended ones, they're like harsh. You know what I'm saying? They're like smooth, like sandpaper on your face. And these are not like that. So if I was going to drink whiskey, I don't actually really drink whiskey. I do taste challenges and tastings, but I don't actually drink it. I don't come home from work and say, oh, I'm going to drink some whiskey. I don't do that. I drink beer. But if I was going to, I'd pick this over the American ones, except for Seagram 7 Crown, which is incredible. It's a good one. The rest are not so nice in my experience. I'm telling you that whoever, I can't remember who it was, might have been Robert Browning, but I'm not sure. Whoever said, I'm pretty sure it was him, but I don't know. Whoever said Canadian whiskey uses plum wine as a predominant flavoring, I think they hit the nail on the head, because this is what I'm getting. My nose, that plum wine thing. It's there. It's there. And after tasting Leroy's plum wine, why, I'm even more convinced. So I would recommend both of these. Wouldn't go make a big effort to get them. But if you happen to run across them in a liquor store, you're not going to pay much. It's a nominal amount of money. So, heck, why not? I bought them, and I'm glad I did. Am I fascinated by them? Overwhelmed? Beside myself with excitement? None of those things. But they're pleasant, mild, nice. And like I said, in theory, if I drank whiskey, which I don't, but if I was a whiskey drinker, I would pick either one of these. Yeah, sure, why not? I like Canadian whiskey. People down it, dog it, say all kind of things. That's flavored vodka, brown vodka, oh, whatever, blah, 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 whatever. But it is whiskey. But anyway, I don't see that why people attack Canadian whiskey. Alex Jones was right, says Graham Dolph. Okay. All right. They're fine. Now, can I tell one from the other? I don't think it's too easy, but I think that perhaps this is the rich and rare, because it seemed like it was a little stronger in that plum wine presentation. Whereas the James Foxe was less predominant in that. Well, I'm going to look at the label. If it says JF, I'm wrong, which is no great failure, because I said from the get-go that I was going to have trouble telling them apart because they're so similar. Would I pay any extra money one over the other? No way. No way. No way. If I was looking to buy either one of these, I would buy whatever. It was a penny difference. If it was 1 penny difference, I would get the one that was a penny cheaper. So does one win over the other? No. So what is my mantra with a lot of these? Most of these, almost all of these: shop price, shop price, shop price. And when you finish doing that, shop price. I'm telling you, don't waste your money on differences that are practically meaningless, marginal. It's the same thing with ice beer. Now, you can get some ice beers that, in my opinion, are inferior. And I don't want to get into that right now. But in the general sense, I say just shop price, because the standard deviation is so minimal. And it's the same thing with these Canadian whiskeys. It's so minimal. Now, with American blended, yeah, you don't want to shop price. No. Get Seagram 7 Crown. Be on the safe side. Don't be cheap and buy something that you know is bad. You know it tastes bad. You know you don't enjoy it, but you wanted to spend a little bit of money, so you bought it. And then you're going to try to convince yourself and others that it's just as good as Seagram 7 Crown. And you know it isn't. And it's a game, so don't do that. Don't do that. In Canadian whiskey, though, these are so similar. It's like you're watching the same movie again and again. It's like Groundhog Day. So just go ahead and shop price. Are you enjoying Animal Crossing? I don't know what that is, but I guess I would enjoy it. So here we go. This thing better not say JF. Oh, it does say James Foxe. Heck. Makes me so angry. I could tear tissue and crush a grape. JF. Yeah. So, yeah. So the James Foxe has a bolder flavor and aroma. Oh, well, it's so minimal. I don't care. You say you're making excuses for yourself. You got it wrong, so you're making an excuse. Yes, I am. I am really, because they're so nearly identical. So anyway, what did this taste challenge prove? Not much. To me, what it proved to me is that if you buy this, or if you buy this, you basically bought the same thing. Now, is this James Foxe the same flavor and recipe as was on the market in 1975, 45 years ago? I seriously doubt that. I bet you, and I can't prove this in any way, shape, form, or fashion, but I bet you when Sazerac bought it from Seagram's in 1989, along with Canadian Hunter, which they also bought in 1989 from Seagram's, and a bunch of other stuff, I bet you they reformulated it and just used their standard flavored Canadian whiskey concoction, threw it out there and said, hey, these old drunks ain't going to notice. Whatever. You said that's a very caustic comment and a very cynical comment. Yes, and probably a very true comment. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many elegant people are going by James Foxe? You know how many? None. Hey, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I go to Dorgnac sometimes, which is in a well-heeled part of Metairie, Louisiana. Old Metairie, where people with money and respect and sweaters and golf cleats live. And they leave in there in their Escalade with some Rich and Rare and some Jim Beam 8-star, because they want to be frugal. You say, no, they want to be cheap. I know, but I'd rather use nicer words like frugal. And it doesn't matter, because some of these cheap ones taste good. These two taste good. I bought that French brandy from Dorgnac, that big, huge bottle, 1,000 milliliter bottle. What was it called? VVSOP, very, very smooth old pale. And that's not even a real designation. It was called, had the gates, like gates in Paris, the Napoleon. Oh, heck. Well, whatever. It tasted really good, and it was really cheap. And then I bought some cheap brandy from Trader Joe's, the Pierre Duchesne, and it really was not good. Oh, that stuff was every time I tasted it, I was like, ouch. I was like, come on, Trader Joe's, y'all can do better than this. I tried their cream sherry, nasty. Tried their French brandy, nasty. Makes you, some of their beer is quizzical, strange. But I might go to Trader Joe's today and look for some stuff. I got to say one thing about Trader Joe's. They got some weird stuff. You can't say it's boring. That's it. That's it. Next. Tomorrow I'm planning to do, I would go to church, but what a world. Oh, I'm planning to do James Foxe versus Canadian Limited from 1972. Is that going to be any different? No. You want to save time and effort? Don't watch the video because it's going to be a repeat of today. I mean, I'm not being snarky or sarcastic. It's literally going to be like watching today's video. It'll be the same thing. I'll be talking about plum wine, how it doesn't really taste different one to another, how I get suspicious that Sazerac is using the same recipe for all these different brands, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. Although I think the Canadian Limited is bottled by Fleischmann's Distilling in Owensboro, Kentucky. You say, but doesn't Sazerac own Fleischmann's? Right, they do. Favorite Nintendo character? Damn. Oh, existential. Yes. These are existential videos. You see, they're metaphysical. You can just watch regular old beer reviews and regular old whiskey reviews, and they're enjoyable, but they're not metaphysical like this one. See, other ones you just watch them. My videos you watch through them. You see what I mean? You watch through the video. Like Stevie Nicks said in The Blue Lamp, the song The Blue Lamp, don't listen to her, listen through her. See what I'm saying? And I don't think there's that many metaphysical beer, wine, and liquor videos on the internet. All right. The man is clear, but his soul is mad. True poetry. Thank you. His mind is clear, but his soul is mad. And he hates this. He hates it. But the man's, he reads poetry out loud. And a voice.